Hello, everyone. I'm Daphne Russell, and this is Define This, a space where we reclaim and reimagine the words we think we understand. Every definition we carry was shaped by an experience tied to a place, wrapped in an emotion, and often handed to us before we ever had the chance to choose it for ourselves. Here we slow down, we ask different questions, and we listen closely, not to what the dictionary says, but to what life has taught us. Each episode begins with one word and one person's lived definition. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
All
Daphne.
right, we're going to begin with Jazmin Marin today. And on our guest on Define This, which I just messed up, but you guys will get over it. Anyway, this is actually the real reason we're here is our relationship, mine and Jasmine's, is actually we have this huge centering around books. So I'm actually going to ask Jasmine to give us two definitions. And one, she's going to start with the one that she would have given to me 7 years ago. Like maybe that definition, and then we'll start there, and then maybe we could end this with what her definition is now, right? So that'd be kind of a good way to go around it. So, Jasmine, do you want to tell us? We're related,
Yeah, we are.
in a marriage sense. So,
Yeah,
and I'll just a little backstory is that we met 11ish years ago, and
about that, right?
yeah, about
It's
11 years ago.
longer.
Yeah, it's been a while. Gosh, but and Jasmine actually went to the last major school that I worked for and where I figured out some of the things I worked on. So she was a little bit older than the kids that I would have had because now she's a bit older than those kids. But it's interesting because she went to the same school where I practiced my method and figured it out.
Yeah,
So
it's too funny.
years, yeah, I'm sorry. Years ago, we would talked about books, and I gave you Rupi Kaur's Milk and Honey.
Yes.
Then we didn't talk about books again. So, do you want to give us a little background on you and books, or maybe your first definition of books are before we met that time at that restaurant Goodness?
Well, books for me then were were challenging. It looked like something I couldn't do. Like I didn't have the interest, or they came to me as a memory of like, "Ugh, I can't do that. Like it's just I was giving it was an assignment for homework for so long as a kid.
Mhm.
So it just seemed daunting and like, oh, this is exhausting, like an assignment. So I attached that to a book and I didn't see, any further than that.
Your first, you said, so your definition of books are challenging was
Yeah.
your old definition. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because you were talking and you went, they were, and like your first, it's not even a word, it's a feeling.
Yes.
They felt like work.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Exactly.
so your first language was Spanish, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And then when did English, when did English come into play? How old were you?
I was 7. I
Okay,
was 7
7.
years old. Yeah. And that was a very interesting experience because I didn't realize that I was elsewhere. I didn't realize that I was around people that didn't speak my language until like I was just inserted there. I was
Wow.
just put there.
Right.
So I can remember just trying to speak to people in Spanish and people looking at me like, what are I don't know what you're saying.
Really?
So that was very different. Yeah, and then coming to understand, oh, we're somewhere else, they don't speak Spanish. And so for a while, it was just really difficult to, feel comfortable and to communicate with kids and have friends. But I was a little wild child, so I I didn't care to play. Like I still played with a lot of kids. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes as a kid, that's the fun part about a child is like you communicate with play. But I do remember it being challenging trying to communicate and trying to in the classroom setting of not understanding what a teacher would say and trying to, do assignments and things like that. And I remember by the second grade, the assignment will always be reading,
Hmm.
and you have to time like read how many minutes you read and record it and get your parents' signature. And it would be you read this much amount a week, you get a prize and stuff like that. And I just knew that I wasn't going to get the prize, like,
Oh, really? Like it was
yeah,
just not going to happen.
it's just not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. How is
Mhm.
just on those? Because I actually never recommend reading logs. I
Mhm.
recommend, if somebody was like wants a kid to read, I don't recommend a forced kind of reading. Don't recommend.
Yeah.
I don't recommend force feeding either. While we're on the subject, but I mean, it's just kind of funny because people are like, must read 20 minutes a night, like that.
Yes. That sounds like an eternity to a child.
Yeah, and it encourages lying.
Yes.
It
I
really,
lied on those, on the reading logs.
yeah.
I forged all of them.
Right. And I had a kid and I was teaching sixth grade and the kid goes, he wasn't trying what I was asking him to try. And as you know, we'll talk about what I actually do, which isn't like I need him to read 20 minutes. But I was like, I told the parents, I said to the kid, I go, your parents think you're going in your room and reading 20 minutes every night because they were signing the papers. And the parents are like, aren't you? And he's like, because I tell people like what happens is when you do it forcefully like that, and your emphasis is on what happened in the story, right? What's the plot, who the characters are, then the mom is like sitting there cooking dinner and the kid went to their room for 20 minutes. The kid comes out of the room and the mom's like, what's the story about? And he's like, oh, it's about this boy. And she's like, okay, get me something out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole conversation. And now the kid got away with it. The mom did her job, which is
Yep.
job is not necessarily to be the, of reading.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just not well, and I know your house has changed remarkably about reading anyway, but we'll get to that in a second. Um, so you're in second grade, third. So when do you feel? Is there some point when you're like, well, second grade, right away, second grade, you're like, you get this reading assignment, you're failing, and it's never going to happen. So you don't. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how do you see reading at that little point? I mean, you're telling us something, a memory that's a while ago and you still remember. What was that overwhelming feeling? Like none of it was for you?
Yeah, none of it was for me. And that assignment was also carried on to the fifth grade.
Mm,
Like this school was really, the school that I went to at the time was really big about it. And and as a whole school, like it would be a big prize of like what classroom had the most, reading logs that or what have you.
oh my
But
goodness.
so that just to me is just made it worse, like it's just and I didn't care for it. I wasn't like a part of that train of like, oh my God, you guys are not with gonna win this prize with my help. Like that's how I felt. Like
Oh
I'm not contributing to this. Like I am the weakest link here. So
gosh.
yeah, but I I just felt like it, and then I didn't care for the books
Oh,
that kids were reading or that that were super popular then.
mhm.
I always remember Babysitters Club or
Oh,
what
right. Mhm.
yeah. And that just wasn't for me. Like it's just like this is and I never even read one of them, but I remember just like the clicky girls always being into it and like, and this is the best book ever and like this one and like that one, there are so many of them. And I was like, I don't see myself in that. Like I don't see how I was growing up and how I looked like and how the lives are in those books for me. So like I couldn't relate to it and I didn't appeal to me. It just didn't appeal to me.
So interesting. Well, also, when you say the weakest link, that little part, I just think it'd be funny when people listen to this to hear the weakest link that when you were when you were second through fifth grade, and then how you read now, especially in relation to your work. But we'll get to that. But um, yeah, I remember I was teaching in 1989, and I learned that this idea that I now can convey more easily. But I was in 1989, I came home to Tucson and I got a job on the South Side. And I was like, we're going to do what books are there? There were not, I knew the books weren't there, but I didn't know what was missing exactly, because now I realize that the books the kids I serve, the adults I hang out with, the people that I work around, the books have to have heart in them,
Yeah.
has to be conveyed in the pages, like dripping within the lines. There has to be the author's heart. And
Oh,
if,
absolutely.
right, if it's just plot and character, I'm like, don't care. Where's the heart? Where's the,
Mhm.
meat in there? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak to that. Yeah.
I mean, it's I love when authors like they just with words they just hit so deep in like your emotions and like so vividly. It's like this very visceral feeling of like, oh wow, this person is going through this. This character is going through this. And like I could even describe the words that the person, but you you read it and like, oh wow, that makes sense. Like that makes I would feel this way in this moment, and like and reading things like that is just it opens your mind and it opens your like vocabulary to puts words to your emotions sometimes, in like a very visceral way. Like it's I that's what I enjoy the most when I come to read a book that just does that. It's my favorite.
Okay, that's really interesting because I have a theory. I have like 30 things to talk to you about, but because we have to talk about Coldest Winter, and we have to talk about Ruby Cower, and we also have to talk about the book, that teenage one that I always forget the name of, but that's the one that really helped you. But I have this theory that, how you said, well, I'm the weakest link, I'm not going to be in, because all the things you were describing as a child, even those girls talking about the Babysitters Club, is you not feeling part of, and the emotional part of you was not involved in that. And I think it's the people that are more, I don't know what more, I'm not going to say more. But what I'm saying is, if you are particularly an archetype of human that is emotional,
Yes.
first, not that you can't be emotional and logical, I'm not saying that, but like if it was a 59, it would be like 49-50, right? 50-49, like 51-49, right? So like you are definitely 51 for sure emotional and 49 illogical. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about like people are only one thing, but like
Yeah.
I think that the people that are like 51 out of 100, they're emotional. I think if they get emotionally hurt in school by literacy, it's more emotionally damaging. And so they go further away from it.
Yeah.
Does that sound
I agree. I agree. It just it's I just didn't it felt like I wasn't smart enough for it. Like I couldn't, you know, couldn't I wasn't just good enough for it, like to be a reader and to be a part of the club. And then also there's this other layer on top of it of like, oh, I love to read. Oh, I read so many books and this and that. It's like this snobby archetype of like, oh, yeah, I'm just smart because I read a lot.
right? And the less than, and I'm better than you because, and you're
Yeah.
less than me. I know. I always say there's no hierarchy, and people are like, "What?" And I'm like, "No hierarchy at all." And
No, it felt that way
it feels that
in
way now, right?
school. And there's still a lot of that now,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
absolutely. but like that's how the the vibe felt like. It's just, no, I'm just, I'm a good reader, and I read on the weekends. I was like, I don't read on the weekends. Like I am playing with my friends or doing whatever, watching cartoons all day,
Right.
that's what I'm doing in the weekend. So yeah, it just felt like I wasn't smart enough, and I just didn't have the motivation, which is also feels like a lack in your, as a person, like you lack motivation to learn, you
Right.
know? Yeah,
So it's all really destructive thoughts.
exactly, exactly. And they do hit deeply. Like, when I finally came around of like, I'm going to give this a try. Like, I'm going to see that, test myself. Like, I can read a book full from start to finish.
Right.
Um, it was healing in the way I was like, I can do this, and like I've been missing out on this for a long time,
Okay, well, let's get to that. Let me get back to that. Let me just back up the like whatever 20 years in between that what we're
Mhm.
talking about in that moment. So you're just feeling like they aren't for you. You walk right by them. You could go to the library and literally maybe even take your children, but not look for you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just like walk in through Target and look at the books for the kids, but not for you. And you're like, they're just not for me.
yeah. It's just I had no interest at all.
Right.
To be
None.
honest with you, like no interest. If you took me to the library then, or like a Barnes and Noble then, or like Bookman's,
Yeah.
like where do I even look? Like what? Like I just wouldn't have no interest at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just
At all.
maybe picking a book if I had to because of the cover. I remember doing that a lot in
Oh yeah.
school,
Yeah.
going to the library. You got to pick a book. You have to pick a book of your choice.
Right.
And I'd be like, I guess this cover looks cute. Like I'll read this.
Right.
But yeah, no.
And then
It's
can
just
we just talk about that? What would happen after you opened it up? When did you, what happened that you were like, nah, or faked it or whatever you did? What happened?
to be honest with you, I would probably read a, a couple sentences to at most a paragraph from the first chapter, or I go to the very back, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I honestly like failed a lot of those reading assignments because I didn't do them.
Right. Well, a lot of
Yeah,
kids either they fail them or they use Spark Notes. I was Spark Notes. Look, watch that
yeah,
video. I tell parents that, and then the parents like freaking out. I'm like, well, your kid can either tell you the truth that they're using Spark Notes, or you can have this lie inside your house where the kid pretends to read. Or
yeah.
get the kid to read and then help them get the Spark Notes where they do the assignment. That really makes everyone but the English teachers happy. But we won't get into that. It's okay. So let's just fast forward and so we're talking about like 4 years ago ish, or maybe 5, 6 years ago. I gave you Ruby Cower's um, Milk and Honey,
Yes.
and and then we didn't talk about it. You just had the copy, and then we saw each other at Goodness, and you were in a position where you were trying to make a lot of life decisions and
Yeah.
kind of restructuring your life a little bit.
Yeah.
What is your take on that conversation? How did it go? Like, why did you ask me? Or I don't know, whatever you want to say about the conversation.
Well, I can't recall what I asked you, but I mean, I think it was along the lines I was, like you said, I was in the middle of, making big decisions and felt honestly pretty lost, and really confused of what to do and how to go about it. So like I needed guidance, and I you told me, I think in your way how you speak is just read, read a book,
Okay.
and and like to look in myself and like really help myself, and stop distracting myself with all the noise that I had outside of me at the moment. So I did, like it took me a couple days for that to really like be like, okay, I need to change something. Like things were, not good. And I got on Amazon. I was like, and I'm like, I can't remember how it went. Like I put in the search bar books about like emotional something, and I came to a book that really got my interest, and it was Adult Children of Immature Parents, Emotional Immature Parents.
Right.
And that like just like hit it. I was like, oh, whoa. And I got that book, and like it just clicked everything that my behavior and the behavior I grew up with around me, what I learned from that behavior, I saw it in myself and what I could do to change it and the tools that I needed. Then it was it it just gave a lot of like meaning to where I was at, and made sense for me, like for myself, no one else involved, but like for my actions in it,
Right.
to what was happening in my life in that time. So then it was, I wanted more information, I wanted more information, and I went on a journey of a lot of self-help books.
Right.
But then like I shifted to like, you know what, I really want to hear more, beautiful stories. And then I shifted to that, and I'm like there now. I just love hearing beautiful stories.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's back up because I love that you go and you just talk like you did. You said read a book. Well, okay, so in my defense, that's the thing is like that's what I'm trying to say is that you have all the answers inside of you. And I believe
Yeah.
that every single person has the answers inside of them, and all they need is a mirror. And books have been not a mirror for so many people because of the relationship they have with books. And it's just
Yeah.
a relationship. So I just want to say, like, so everybody really understands, like, you went from feeling like you were not a reader,
Mhm.
probably feeling like you had failed.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely feel like I failed at it. Like that's like a subject in school like I couldn't do, you
couldn't
know.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
So nothing miraculous happened between school and the day that you then decide to open the Milk and Honey book.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that a little bit. Just I want to kind of focus on the Milk and Honey before we get to the teenage
Yeah.
so with the Milk and Honey. So you said to me, you said, I go, well, what happened to Milk and Honey? And you're like, it was uncomfortable.
It was. It
And
made me so uncomfortable.
no,
I
I
recall
know,
that.
I know, like every sentence. So you said that, and I go, well, that's when we keep going. And you went, oh. And I just thought that was kind of a fun moment because it was so simple. Because you were like, no. And then I was like, well, no, yes. And then I didn't hear from you about it. And then, but what I found is that people, because I had a senior that just did this, she said that she read Poet X, and you've read Poet X, right?
Which one?
Poet X.
Oh, I read some of it. I can't
Okay, good.
remember.
Well, it's a YA book, so it might have
Yeah.
only attracted you a little bit. Or it doesn't even matter. Everything attracts everyone differently. But my point is, she was reading and felt kind of like you guys could have had similar stories, like back to back, and then she's 18 years old, about to graduate from high school, hadn't finished a book. Then she trusted me. She said, well, maybe Daphne's not, maybe she's right. Maybe I have
Yeah.
a poor relationship with reading, and there's
Yeah.
nothing actually wrong with me. So she said she started reading, and then it all made sense. Everything clicked, just like you said with the teenage book. So I
Yeah.
want to kind of go from the Milk and Honey to the teenage book because I want to talk about that click, like
Okay.
what's involved with the click for her. So you would, she's reading, and I'm
Hmm.
like, think about yourself, think about yourself, think about yourself. And then she goes, oh, I know what she's saying. I know what the book is about, and I understand poetry. What?
Yeah.
And that's when she was like, holy crap. And she sat her parents down and told them about it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, you would love her.
Yes,
She's such
that's
a cool
super
kid.
exciting.
Yeah, and to know so clearly that she's had her parents down.
Mm,
And I'm like,
wow,
yes, yeah.
that's
So
powerful.
I wanted to go back because I tell people that what happened to you doesn't always happen with a kid or an adult with the first book. It's just like you got to get them going, and everyone has a moment, and then you can't really predict the moment, but
Yeah,
there's a moment, and then it's as if everything was stuck inside your unconscious, and then your conscious is like, wait a second,
yeah,
you know what we're doing now. Can you describe that? Did you have that actual moment I'm talking about with that teenage book?
I did. Yes, I did.
Can you describe it?
Describe the piece where it happened.
Yeah, like anything you can that would show people, like describe it so that people could see. Like it was, I feel like people have trapped information. Math, I think you have trapped math information, trapped all kinds of information. I have trapped Spanish inside of me. I know you're gonna like, yeah, we'll see. But I'm just saying that it's all inside of here. And then when somebody is allowed to read this way and provides themselves, you started searching and then found the book, like those kinds of things lead to the moment that you had. So if you can, I've only had this one kid describe it. So if you can describe that a little bit, if you can remember it.
Well, I remember just identifying with everything that was, describing how I grew up. Um, and then it clicked for me that it kept me interested. Like this is information that I already felt inside of me, like that was happening, but didn't have the words for it, didn't have actual evidence that it's true that people grow up like this, like kids grew up like this,
Right.
Yeah. So that is where it clicked to me. It was like, wow, like this is so eye-opening. Like this is has opened my eyes to like I am not uh crazy. Like I know this was, the information was like I knew I had validation that I wasn't too uh much for a parent. Or or
Right.
that this actually was true. Hold on.
With Daphne.
But yeah, it was just a validation of like, this did happen. Like this, I did grow up this way, and it had real information in it, and it kept me captivated, and I wanted to know more, and I just wanted it, and that's how it clicked for me.
Okay, so I think that this what I try to tell people is that there's a belief.
Yeah,
The belief that you're talking about is you believed in the, this past that had one perspective, and then you saw another perspective and went, "What
yeah.
the heck?" Okay, so when did you break your reading belief? When did you go, "Oh wait, I am a reader"? Like, do you remember that too?
Yeah, I remember after reading that book and other books to just like help me like deal with it. It was when I was like, I enjoy this. I enjoy learning, and I enjoy what the it felt refreshing to be doing something else,
Right,
And also when I read novels, it, I enjoyed the how my mind goes and builds this in the characters, like how
right,
I would see them in my head, a character
right.
and what they're going through, the setting, the landscape.
Mm.
I enjoyed that a lot, and it clicked. It's like this is fun.
That's what I try to tell kids because, of course, I have to. Usually spend a lot of my time convincing a kid. Like just wait till your mind goes like that, and they're like,
Yeah,
they look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, no, I promise. And then you can see their mind just goes,
yeah,
and then things change. So in class, what I see is the kid starts with the reading, and they start reading, they, I mean, I'm introducing them to a whole new idea of just like think about yourself and blah, blah, a couple things, right? But when they start doing it, they're like, huh. And then they're like, wait, this is reading? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's not what I was told. Because they were told, like you, like they believed that it was questions on the outside and they weren't very good at answering those questions on the outside.
Yeah.
So they believed that it was something else. And then when I'm like, no, it's actually just thinking about yourself and evolving who you are, questioning your thoughts and like, and confirming your thoughts, doing both, not just like,
Yeah.
I'm right all the time, but like going, oh, I might be wrong about that. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't think of that, you know? And then when that happens, they go, huh, I thought I couldn't read. Then they,
Well, yeah. How could you blame them? Because like it feels like a whole test. Like it's you're reading to, like you said, answering questions after to answer questions afterwards of what did you read?
right,
Tell me, write a summary about it. God kill me when they asked me to write a summary about a chapter I read or the book. I
right,
was like, no, my God. It's daunting. It's just like, I don't want to do that. I
right,
wouldn't want to do that. And now it's just like, I'm like, oh, what book am I going to read next? It's just like, or audiobook I'm going to listen to. I enjoy those a lot too.
yeah,
But, it's just, it clicked. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like, it just really it's expansive, like it really, I felt in an expanse in my mind, and it felt like, yeah, I could do this. Like this could be like, if I can, will enjoy this forever now.
right. Oh, okay. I want to talk about because I just love when you were reading Coldest Winter. It's my
Oh
favorite.
my God, that book.
Okay,
That
because
book is just so entertaining. It's just so entertaining.
because you were so mad at Winter.
Oh my God, and I still am. Like, oh my God, that girl. She is she's she's one of my favorite characters that I've read.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even though she makes me so mad, but she is like this alter ego that every girl has,
Oh,
but
interesting.
to the times 10, and it's she's just so entertaining. She's just a brat and wants whatever she thinks she can get whatever she wants, but she learns the hard way that she can't.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me mad because like I always look for like hero stories, like the hero to your own story.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's right.
Yeah, but she is not that.
Funny. Well, I was thinking about what you just said about the summary, like I think that it's important for like let's say a parent or a teacher or someone who reads but liked the summaries and did well in school and passed and read all the books in high school or whatever, they maybe it would be interesting for them to know that you're reading also. Like, and so if somebody had to write a summary for Coldest Winter, you're like, oh my gosh, no. But if someone had a rant about winter for an hour, you're like, oh, I'm in. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah.
that when yeah, right? Because when we validate reading in one lane,
Hmm.
then we're restricting
Exactly.
these minds that we don't necessarily understand. And,
Yeah.
and rather than force your mind into this lane of a summary, if I could just go, okay, well, Jasmine, tell us your opinion of winter. And you're like, what? I could just see you as like a 14-year-old. Like I could see you like a sophomore in high school going, oh, let me do presentation
Let
on
me tell you something. Let me tell you something about winter right now. Yeah. So yes, it's just like it's really restricting to how everyone else learns.
right,
It's, yeah, that's how it is. Like, write me a summary about, tell me the setting in place and tell me this and tell me that.
right,
You
right.
know, it's like I have to go and examine through pages instead of just like letting him flood my mind, and then be like, oh, like in a book club, it's like, oh my God, in this chapter, when this happened, he did this and did that. That was, and do you recall like this where he was at, and like how it was nighttime and the moon looked like this? Like that seems better for me. Like that. it's more, organic, for me.
Right. And I love you use the word flooding, like your mind is being flooded as opposed to restricted. And now and there's nothing wrong with being able to, but if your whole world is doing it one way, then there's no chance for the flooding, right? Like
Yeah.
if the potential for flooding is shut off, at 9 years old, then it never even happens. And then the belief set in, well, I can't because I don't do it this way. And I
Yeah.
was like, if a kid, like if you were treated with your floodgates open, then by
Yeah.
the time you're 16, you can articulate all that they want to hear, but it's going to blow the teacher's mind if the teacher
Yeah.
just did one lane and they're like, oh my gosh, Jasmine did her presentation and right. But if they restrict, then it restricts you the whole time, and that's not healthy. I don't think that's
Yeah.
emotionally or intellectually healthy.
It isn't, because I learned reading with so many set of rules, like too many rules around it.
Right.
The like this is the correct way. Like you do an equation from, here to
Right.
there. That's how I feel reading was approached for me. And then if I feel like I can't do right, I'm gonna disengage.
Right. If you can feel
Yeah.
like right, right. Because
Yeah.
there's one lane, come in this lane, and you're like, I don't even understand that lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, so that's how it felt. And when I finally needed like something else and I didn't go by the rules,
mhm.
I just decided to do it for me and just be like, let's see, I got nothing to lose, kind of like I got nothing to lose here. So when I approached it like in that way, then it I was able to do it.
Right.
I
Right.
felt
It's appropriate.
capable.
Right.
Yeah, I was open. Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
So, okay, you've read, I don't even know how many books in the last 4 years, probably can be able to
I,
count, but
I don't know.
I guess, so you also listen to podcasts and audiobooks and read all the time now. Like it's
Yes,
like everyone in the family knows, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Like it's like,
I like to switch up between a book, like a real book, and an audiobook. Like I like to have both because I also like to see the words. Um, And audiobooks are fun because I don't have to hear my voice all the time, and then I just like I'm driving or I'm doing whatever, and then I just paint it just like when you're reading a full book. But like it's just I like both a lot.
oh, that's
Yeah, yeah.
what is your what I know we talked about Mystic. We talked about Mystic River.
Mystic River.
So great. Yeah.
Ah, that
What
book
I know. What would
is
you
still
say?
one of my favorites.
It really is.
It's just beautiful.
It really is. It's so, yeah, he really, anyway, what would you say is your top, like, what, if you had to give one to, if you're like, I don't know, like you're a bookseller. Somebody,
Okay.
they walk into your little bookstore and you're like, well, let me show you. What would you do?
Wow, that's a hard question. It really is. Oh man. I don't know. It's like picking your favorite movie or like your favorite song.
Right.
To me, that's how I feel about it. Um, I right now I really like Icy Sparks and it's a really beautiful book, but I think if I have to be like Jasmine pick one right now, I think it'd have to be Mystic River. It's just it has so much depth and so many characters that are so different from one another, and you can see yourself in every each character. And it I just love it, and like it has so much heart in it, and it has so much heartbreak, and um oh, and so much like fear, of like, oh my God, like I can't imagine what that person is going through. What would I do? It's just like it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I like how I've noticed the difference between when there's a female character as the lead character and the male character is like the emotions are written so differently. Like Oh, the male character is like so stoic all
Mm,
the time. It's just like I feel like that's the main ingredients of a male emotion, a stoicism to it.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and like a female emotion is just like very vibrant and like comes with so much wrath and like pain at times, and I really like both. I just wonder where's the middle ground.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, when
Yeah.
you talk about heavy, I know heavy,
Heavy.
heavy is in your house somewhere. I love that book.
Oh yes, yes.
I
But
can,
I'm gonna try to get into Lonesome Dove. That's what I'm
oh,
gonna
that's
try.
right. We talked about Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
God dang, I love that thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's,
would be the biggest book I'll ever read, have
oh,
ever read.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty
So,
big. Yeah.
but I
That's,
am really, really looking forward to Lonesome Dove. I'm gonna be soon finishing Icy Sparks, and then I'm gonna start Lonesome Dove. So
yeah.
I'm excited about that.
That's really cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
just want to talk about, wait, I know that you tried a book club and we don't have to say how it went. And only the
Yeah.
positive parts of the book club at work. So you work as a server and a bartender. So
Yeah.
your friend, your work friends are servers and bartenders. So how did book club go, or what would you do next, or how was it going, or did it end? I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, it disbanded. Like, like yeah, it didn't. But we did read two books, so I think that's like a plus. My goal is to be in a book club that, continues for a long time and I make lifelong friends through it.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's like my goal. That's like life goals right there.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, well, how it happened, it was like I I was telling people, my coworkers, like, oh my God, I'm on this book and I'm on this book, I'm reading this book, and I just be talking about books I would be reading at that time.
Right.
And then I was talking to one of the coworkers, it's like, do you like reading books? And he would tell me once in a while, yeah, I do. I haven't read one in a while. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, do you want to be in a book club? He's like, yeah, I'll be in a book club. I was like, for real, you'll be in a book club? And like, you can't get out of it. Like, you're saying yes to me now. Like, you're gonna. He's like, yes, I'll be in your book club. Cool. And then like word got around that he started spreading the word that we're in a book club, and like a wife of a manager was like, I want to be in your guys' book club. And I was like, let's do it. And we just made a book club, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I want to be in another one.
Well, I mean, I'm going to put this, on the internet. So maybe someone's going to go, hey, we want you in our book club. That would be so cute, wouldn't it? If you made a friend that way.
Oh my God, I'd be so down. I'd be
Right.
so down.
Reach out
Yes.
to me if anybody wants to hang out with Jasmine in a book club. Obviously,
Please.
you guys got to read Coldest Winter at some point. So
Oh, it's the best.
this winter.
Yeah. But yeah.
I just want to say, I know I've told you this, but I had a friend at work and he's like, what did you do to these kids? I'm like, just doing my thing. And he's like, well, I don't read. And I'm like, well, yet. And he goes, no, no, really. And then I asked my friend what book, and she said, give him Coldest Winter. So Coldest Winter has those giant red lips on the front.
Yeah. A
And my
sexy book. It's a
right,
sexy book.
it's super sexy book, right? So
Yeah.
Eric was so in love with it that he took it out at Hooters, and his friends were like,
What?
dude, what are you doing? He's like, I don't want to watch any of these games. And he opened up the book. So every once in a while, he'll text me and say that he just read a book in 3 days. Or, like every time he picks up a book, he remembers me and Coldest Winter. And it's just so cool.
Well, if I remember correctly, Coldest Winter was like one of the first novels I read.
I think
And
it was.
yeah, and that book is captivating. Like it kept me up. Like
Yeah.
I would read it every night. I'd be like, wait, I gotta go to bed. I was like, no, wait, this chapter's almost done. And I did that so many nights in a row with that book because it is so good. It's just super entertaining. That character is holy shit. It's like she's off the wall, and
Yeah.
like you just want to know what she's gonna do next all the time. So
So fun.
it's super. That book is great. It's
Yeah.
great. It's
It's-
a really well written novel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, actually, wait, I can't help it. I have to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
People continue to use the word the joy of reading. And I'm like, it's not joy. You're like, if you read the way that we're talking about, you are going inside yourself and ripping up your thoughts and shredding them and putting them back together again. I don't think that's joy. I don't have kids going, I'm so
No.
happy. I just read. They don't act like that. They don't talk like that. But people are like, joy. No, it's not joy when you're discovering who you are and facing things that you don't like about yourself and letting them go. That's not joy.
Oh my God, I know. Oh, I when I tell you sometimes I don't like some characters, it's because, like you said, they are a mirror to parts of you that you don't like. I was like, holy shit, what is it? But like, and you are trying to discover what piece it is of that character that you don't like. You don't know in that moment. You don't know right away. It's when you start thinking of like, oh, when she was doing or he was doing that, it's like, why did I hate that so much? And then you just keep going and going, and then you discover it's like later on, it's like, oh, I know why. I know why, And it's just like it's very, it happens like that in waves, and you just, it makes you dig deep, you dig deep into these parts of you that you didn't even know you had because you read this book, and like it brings out this character, it's just, it's quite fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love, yeah. You didn't use the word joy.
No,
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 it's not joy.
it's it's I don't even know what word I would choose,
Yeah, I haven't found one, but I think it's on the hierarchy. I think that the people are like, oh, I read these important books. You and they're not joy and joy. They're not saying joy either, right? But I think that hierarchy
Yeah.
say joy to the riffraff over here, because we're not reading on the same intellectual level as fancy pants. And I'm like, quit using the word joy. We're over here destroying our beliefs and restructuring new ones.
Oh,
Read all
absolutely.
that,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Like, I don't like when there's reviews on books and like critically acclaimed,
Oh,
and
right.
then they write little paragraph, like they say a joy to read. I was like, wow, like you were a reader and this is what you came up with? Like that's all you were able to say? That's your review? That's,
So maybe
it
we're reading,
falls short.
right?
It
It does
falls
fall short. Yeah. And we're
Yeah,
reading completely differently.
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
seems so vague and like not, no. It's just I don't like those reviews on books.
I love that you said that because it just drives me crazy. But that
Yeah,
joy thing, I'm like, nope, not joy. I mean, I
yeah,
had a sixth grader, I will never forget. He just started crying. And it took me everything I had to get him in that seat holding that book and reading. I had to get his basketball coach involved so I could just get him to do it by himself, and it was my first, that little book that I always use first. And when I finally got him through the steps, because it's a mirror. So the mirror, when you read the first time like this, the mirror is like crazy because it's like, well, you can't read. Wait, you're reading. The mirror's right there going, you did, you're reading it. So
yeah.
then when it gets done, nothing bad happens in the end. And he's bawling his head off. And I'm like, hey, what happened? Like, I don't know what happened to him because
Yeah.
it was years ago. So I didn't understand what was going on for kids. And he's like, I don't know. And he's just, and I'm like, well, how do you feel? And he goes, weird. And I had a few kids say weird. And what I realized is they're breaking beliefs and
Yeah.
they're becoming conscious.
Yes.
It's like
It is an awakening of some sort, Like that's how it felt with, I was breaking beliefs with the first book that I committed to reading. And then another book that really, and I cried with that book, but another book that really made me cry too, the first was I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. And that book, it was so beautifully written because I really like identified with that book. It was like the first time I read a book that saw myself in because of my culture and where I came from and everything. So when she broke that mold in the book, how she wrote it, it just hit my heart. It was like, wow. And like tears just came. And she wrote it like like a poem. Like the end of that chapter when she broke the mold of not being the perfect Mexican daughter was absolutely like, oh my God, I know that, you know? It was beautiful.
That's exactly what I'm saying happens is the kid. This is when I tell somebody who has no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, well, first of all, the kid starts to read and they're like, wait, this is reading. I'm like, yeah. So that breaks the reading belief. And then they read about an author who overcame, and then they're reading about the character who's overcoming, and then they get to see the person overcome while they're reading, and then they overcome. And they're
Yeah.
like, what? You just described exactly what I say that happens to people. I've never had people, somebody ever articulate it like you just did. Like, that's the
No.
we get to watch somebody else break the mold, and then we get to break the mold too. And
Yeah,
for us, that's what's so beautiful about reading what we want to read and choosing, is because you never know when that book is going to be the one that breaks
exactly.
you. And she did.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like, and when in the character, I felt like okay, like that I am not that, you know? Like it was like it like solidified this belief within myself that I was conflicted with. It was like, I'm not that, you know, like I'm not this perfect, Mexican daughter I'm supposed to be. Is
right,
it okay, you know? And it told me like, no, it is okay because look at me, you know? Look what I'm doing.
right.
So I, because she was opposite, you know, and I was like, yes, girl, yes. You know,
Oh, that's so cool.
it's a beautiful book, another beautiful book.
Oh my God. I love that. I think we should end there because that was so perfect.
Oh, yeah, of
Okay,
course.
well, I did have to ask you now. So, what would you say now books are?
Life saving.
Yeah, right.
I think they are, I feel like they're necessary,
Hmm.
necessary for the, it's like soul food. It's soul food.
My God. Oh, okay, we're
Yeah.
definitely ending there. That was so perfect. Holy crap. This was amazing. Okay, I'm gonna do my little close up here, but Jasmine, I cannot even thank you enough. So, extra big hug. Oh, wait, I didn't make you cry today. I think it's our first conversation where there's no
Um,
tears. Okay, let me talk some more. Just kidding. Okay. Oh my God, everybody, thank you for listening to Define This. I'm Daphne Russell, the self-proclaimed education evolutionist, talking about teaching and learning and all that in between. I hope today's conversation stirred something in you, maybe a memory, a shift, or even a quiet redefinition of your own, because the words we carry matter. And when we broaden what they mean to us, we change what's possible for us. If this episode moved you, share it with someone who might love it also, and be ready to revisit a word they thought they understood. So thank you, Jasmine. Oh my God.
Thank you, Daphne. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop us.